With more than 100 years of experience, Mitas is one of Europe's leading motorcycle tyre brands. Whether you ride on the trails, enduro, on the road or on adventures, Mitas have the tyres for you. If they're good enough for the likes of Chris Birch and Paul Tarris, they're good enough for me and our Noel. For more information, go to mitas-moto.com. Go the distance with Mitas tyres.
Hello and welcome to the Trail and Adventure Motorbike Podcast with me, Clive Barber. For the days when you can't ride your bike, there's always the Trail and Adventure Motorbike Podcast.
Hello everybody, we're back. I say we, it's just me still. New guys joining soon, very soon. I'm very excited. Very excited for you, you're in for a treat. Sorry there's not been that many episodes recently. Obviously it's festival season, so I've been at the ABR and at the Summer Social, both of which were great, probably for very different reasons. ABR was its usual brilliant self. Blimey, it was hot though. And then last weekend we were at the Summer Social in the Peak District, and that was absolutely brilliant as well. 110 people, so it's lovely and small. You got to talk to everybody. I guess it's the new Lightweight Adventure Festival, and it fills that gap really nicely, and I think Andre has decided to do it again. So if you do get a chance to come to that one, make sure you do. It was a lot of fun. Right, this week we are talking to a chap I hadn't even heard of until recently. Johnny of this parish messaged me about this film that he thought I should see, and about this guy he thought I should talk to, and I watched the film and agreed, yes, I should absolutely talk to this guy. So Harry Jackson, alternatively known as WeHatetheCold, has been travelling on his CT125 all the way from Thailand back to the UK, making films as he travelled. One remarkable film that he made has had something like 33 million views. And he's quite a character. And you're going to meet him now. Right, let's get on with it. So how are you? How long have you been back for?
Yeah, I've been back for about a couple of months now. I mean, I got back on the 10th of December, but then I went off to Nepal again in April and then came back here in March and then came back here in April.
So you having horrible post-trip blues or?
And as you know what, it's actually not that bad. I came back in winter on the 10th of December and I absolutely hated my life because it was cold as hell. Winter's just not nice, is it?
But it sounds like you were living in Thailand for quite a while because you were speaking the language as well.
Yeah, I was living there for about 4 to 6 months. I had one of those education visas. I went off there to go learn Thai because I learned Thai for a bit before. It was like my first destination. I went off traveling before I went back to Thailand, and then I went to go live in Thailand for 6 months. It's been a while I've been traveling about, and then I was trying to figure out what to do. And then I was like, well, if I asked myself a question in my diary every day, what would I do if I had no limits? I kept coming up Motorbike the World. So I just thought, you know what, I'll start from Thailand. I've got the visa required to get a motorbike. So I'll just buy one here. It's cheaper and I'll see how it works out. It didn't work out very, very well. As you can tell, I'm not the most organised man, and everything kind of went wrong because of that.
Yeah, but that makes for a good film, right?
I was so annoyed by it. At the time, things that were going wrong, I was so annoyed by those things going wrong, and I was annoyed at myself because I was like, I'm not organised enough, I'm not good enough to do this. Like, why did I try to do this? I know I'm not good at paperwork and all that stuff. But then looking back, the whole reason it worked out the way it did is because I was myself, right? And I did mess up and I did all these terrible, stupid mistakes. That's the whole reason I ended up in that situation in the revolution and in the war and stuff, as you've obviously seen in the video.
Amazing film.
Like, if I wasn't organised, it wouldn't have worked. That was fascinating for me to realise that. It was like, I think I spent a lot of my life kind of a bit upset with myself for not being who I wanted to be, in a way, if you get what I mean. Like, I think I was trying to be something else that I wasn't, and that was making me upset. This trip taught me that you can kind of just be yourself and things will still work out.
Yeah, unless you're a prick, and then it won't work. But you seem all right so far.
Yeah, there is that. If you're horrible to people and you start punching them in the face and things like that. Hello, everybody. I'm Harry Jackson, otherwise known as We Hate the Cold on YouTube, because I absolutely hate the cold. And I just returned from a trip from Thailand to the UK on a little 125cc Honda bike.
So I actually got a listener of the podcast wrote in to us and said, you should watch this film. This guy's incredible. I think you'll like it. Johnny lives not far from me, so thanks for doing that, Johnny.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Much appreciated.
I looked at your YouTube channel. You've got 748,000 followers.
Yeah.
And one of your videos has got 33 million with a illion at the end views. It's like, how the fuck have I not met this guy before? Obviously, I dug into it a little bit deeper, and there's quite a remarkable story behind your YouTube almost overnight success. Tell us that story.
I actually find that funny. Funny you say 33 million views, because I think that Mr. Beast gets over 100 million views in his videos, right?
He's not got a motorbike though, so fuck him.
Yeah, but I think to myself, how does this guy get more views than a revolution? They burned down the Houses of Parliament, and that gets more views. I don't get it.
How did you find yourself in a revolution in the middle of Nepal?
That's a bit of a crazy story. There's loads of things that came together to make that happen. And it's like I was saying earlier, being unorganised is how I actually ended up there, which is really interesting. I was riding around, started my trip from Thailand, ended up in India, had to ship the bike to Kolkata, and then my plan was to go to Pakistan. Someone had said, "I'll go to Nepal for 2 weeks, go see the Himalayas in Everest and stuff." And I thought, yeah, you know what, why not? I'll be able to skip Bihar in India, which is known as pretty crazy. I went to India before. Bihar's pretty mental if you go there. And so I thought, I'll skip that, I'll go west, I'll go out the other side, and then I'll head to Pakistan. Went up the mountains, had a great time. As I was about to leave Nepal to go to Pakistan, the border, they'd shot 26 people in Kashmir in an attack called the Pahalgam attacks. They closed the border instantly. I just thought, right, well, I'm just going to ride to the border and see what happens. They might let me across if they hear about my trip and it's for charity and all that stuff. Maybe they'll let me across. It was just a chance. I rode off there, got to the border. Then it ended up, they weren't going to let me across. Air raid sirens were going off. There were like anti-aircraft stuff in the sky to get rid of drones coming over. They weren't attacks and no one really died, I don't think. Don't quote me on that. I don't think anyone died in these attacks, but they were just like sending drones across each other at the border just to show strength or something. And India sent some airstrikes over at military bases, and it was all a bit crazy. They blacked out this thing called the Golden Temple for the first time in 50 years. So it was quite serious. And there I was thinking that everyone was going to bend to my will and let me across the border, which was pretty stupid. So I tried that. It didn't work out. And basically I had no money, really, because I'd planned this thing terribly. And I'd spent a lot of money on the cargo, and the cargo was like my last chance type thing. So I thought to myself, I need to get across that border. There's no way I can continue this trip unless I go by land. I don't have enough money. I can't afford cargo again. I got in contact with the British Embassy, Ministry of Home Affairs in India, and I managed after like 3 months to convince Ministry of Home Affairs in India to say yes. But then the British Embassy, they needed a letter from them. And the British Embassy wouldn't provide the letter on the basis that they thought it was safer for me to reroute. So I'd met this other guy who's doing Malaysia to England, and he was like, cargo is $500 in Nepal. You can go up to Nepal, pay $500, get it flown to Dubai. And I thought, $500, that's doable. I think that's more than doable. Raced up to Nepal. The day I arrived, 20 people were shot. And I ended up in the middle of like a riot. I was trying to get through the crowds because they were all in the street and there was a gunshot. There's a video of me driving in. You can see it on the YouTube. I'm driving in and I'm like, oh, fucking hell, I've ended up here. There's a gunshot in the air. There's fire in the streets. This guy comes up to me. He's like, do you want to go? Do you want to go through the crowd? And I was like, yeah, if that's possible. And he's like, let me talk to them. So he goes and talks to them, and they let me through they stopped like the riot, and they just let me through the crowd to go to my hotel. And I thought, blimey hell.
I guess a little bit of background. This was the September 2025 riots in Nepal known as the Gen Z protests or Gen Z riots.
Yeah.
And it was all about inequality, wasn't it? So it was a lot of young people. And that's the most remarkable thing about your film. And I recommend it. Everybody goes to We Hate the Cold on YouTube. And it's about a 15-minute film of you basically being surrounded by rioters, but being treated really, really well by everybody. The guy's just burnt down the Houses of Parliament. Then he's asking you if you're all right and you need some water.
It was pretty mental. The film of the revolution, start to finish, the day they burnt down Parliament, I had no idea they were going to do that. The reason I went was because I thought, well, I roll the dice every single day on these dodgy roads on my tiny little bike. I could die any day in these places where the road rules are really terrible. They're basically non-existent. So I thought to myself, well, I'll roll the dice again because, like, probabilities, I haven't died yet. Let's go have a look. I'll film a bit and see what happens. And I turned up and I never expected them to burn down Parliament. In the video, you can see me. I asked the guy on the side of the road and I'm like, what's that building? Because I don't know what building it is. I've got zero clue about this. And I'm like, what's that building? He says, Parliament. It hits me. He's like, Parliament is burning. And I'm like, Parliament's burning. Parliament is burning. Okay, Parliament's burning. The Nepali people were so nice to me. I cannot fault them at all. I mean, I was just in the middle of it and they were like, yeah, come with us. Film this, film that. They're like, put your helmet on so you don't get hurt. Here's some water. One of the moments, I didn't catch it on film, unfortunately, this big fireball goes off in the sky. Some gas canisters blown up. It was mental, like the whole sky lit up. And we all run away. And then we're calming down just outside Parliament. And this guy just goes, oh, where are you from? And I said, oh, England. And he goes, oh, what's your favourite football team? And I was like, mate, Parliament's burning. I think you got more things to worry about. And he's just laughing. And I'm like, who are these people? There's such a weird calm in the chaos. I feel like people here would freak out a bit.
It would be pure violence over here, whereas it was, we shouldn't downplay it. 72 people were killed, I think, weren't they?
Yes.
So there was a level of violence there, but the fact that you were treated almost kindly, it does make it remarkable. And what I also love about that film is, at 1 minute, you're like a CNN war reporter 1 minute, and the next minute you're just like some scared kid running away, quite sensibly, as the crowd surges. Very interesting, very compelling film. So, yeah, go and watch it, everybody. So let's go back a little bit. So how did you get into motorcycles? Was it something you discovered when you were in Thailand, or were you biking back in Britain?
I actually have never owned a bike before. I bought one in Thailand, and that was my first ever bike. I rode bicycles as a kid, and I did some cycling adventures. Cycled from England to Germany when I was like 17 for charity. So I always had a bit of a kind of a thing for wanting to do adventures. I didn't like bicycling, so I bought a motorbike. I didn't even learn to drive till I was, I think, 23, 24, 25, something like that. It wasn't long ago that I got my license. And then I went to Thailand. I did a bit of motorcycling around Thailand with a Thai license. Yeah, I just fell in love with it. Like, just absolutely fell in love with it. I was like, why did I never do this before?
A lot of people don't start until their 40s, do they? And just think, I've wasted 30 years of my life by not doing this.
I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed it because I'd never been interested at all. And I just got to Asia and I was like, let me get my license and give it a go. It seems like a good way to get around. It's cheap. And I just started on some rentals, like 125cc. Do you know what a Honda Wave is?
Scooter, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, they call it an Innova. I've seen a few knocking about. They're like the 4-speed.
Listen, this is the Trail and Adventure Motorbike Podcast. We don't talk about fucking scooters, okay?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Today's exciting episode is brought to you by Adventure Specs Super Shirt 2.0. 2.0? Yep, it's a new version. It's got the Flow Armour, which is a lot more breathable, and yet it's still CE AA rated. So it gives you both impact protection and abrasion resistance.
It's an absolute game changer.
It is, actually, because you completely forget you've got it on. The armour's really soft. I even find myself checking to see if I've actually remembered to put it on sometimes.
It still feels wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But It's the first thing I put on for all motorcycling activities, basically. I even wore it and you mocked me when we were doing some trials practice.
Thank God you were wearing it that day, because I don't think you'd be with us today if you hadn't been wearing it when you got on the trials bike.
It wasn't that bad. It's even been crash tested on an actual human, which I don't think any other garment has ever been tested that way.
They threw a man down a runway wearing one, didn't they?
It's actually quite scary to watch, but he came away unscathed, which is pretty good news.
What do you wear over the top of yours?
Well, you know I'm a bit of a hipster, so it's usually a check shirt and a very long beard.
Just something to hide the coffee stains?
Yes, the very rare blend espressos that I normally drink.
Nice.
So there are sizes for all from small to, I think, triple XL. It's quite stretchy as well, so it'll fit women and it fits fatties like me too. To get your super shirt, head to adventurespec.com. Are you looking to get more out of your rides? Meet Just Ride, the all-in-one riding companion built specifically for motorcyclists. Whether you're chasing the perfect route or heading out with friends, Just Ride helps you discover incredible roads, stay connected with group navigation, and ride with extra peace of mind thanks to crash detection and emergency SOS. From planning your next big adventure to navigating every twist and turn on the day, Just Ride brings everything you need into one place. Pre-register now at justride-app.com and you'll get a free 7-day trial of Just Ride Pro when the app launches this June at the ABR Festival. Just Ride, where every ride connects us. Discover incredible routes, ride safer, and stay connected.
What is mine? Like, see, this is literally how much I know about motorcycles. I keep getting people telling me that it's something different to what I say it is, but some people say it's a motorcycle, and some people say it's a moped, and some people tell me it's a scooter, and I just don't know what it is.
Well, it's a cool little off-road thing, so it's okay. It's okay to own. You're all right.
Yeah, fair enough.
I am joking. You ride whatever you want. I'd quite like a scooter.
They're good. They are good. I mean, they're not good, but they're good to get around on. But I'd never ridden before, and just the freedom of it, you just have ultimate freedom of where you want to go, when you want to go. You can choose when you want to leave. Fantastic for someone like me who doesn't really align with...
Well, you're not doing the 9 to 5, are you?
I had one 9 to 5 when I was 22 or 21, and I had it for 8 months. I'll be honest, that was a great job. I'm still friends with all the people there. They were amazing people, and they really, really helped my development at that age. But I just knew 8 months in, I can't sit here and do this.
Well, you were DJing as well, weren't you, doing music stuff?
So I was at university at the time, studying music production, trying to become a DJ, and we ran events. They did pretty well. They sold out quite a few times. We just started running them from a different city and promoting them on Instagram, and they sold out, and everybody was like, who are these guys? And the first time we went to that city, people were pointing us out like, oh, it's those guys. And I thought, blimmin' hell, how have we managed to do this from a phone? Do you know what I mean? Because it was kind of eye-opening for me. I was like, wow, this is really, you can use this stuff to make your dreams happen.
So you were going to different towns and running nights, were you? Back in my day, you'd have the gangs coming after you. We would get, lads, it's good to see you doing well here. Don't take it anywhere else. You didn't have any of that?
So we were first in Bristol, and then we realised the music scene was all drum and bass and bass line, and we liked house music, so we were like, let's move to Birmingham. And we started running it from Bristol, and then the first one sold out in Birmingham. There was a bit of gang stuff, but not ever like what you're saying.
I just remember that one of the last times I actually DJ'd in Liverpool, we'd arrived at the club. We were walking up with our crates of records, as it was back then. And there's like some people in our club and going, what's going on? They went, well, we're here now. I was going, well, no, you're some... They went, no, we're here now. And then like about 8 people just started walking towards us. And we just thought, okay, you're here now. We'll go. My mate went back later on and stink bombed the place. So that got them back for us.
Well, it's well deserved. I always thought, it's music. Everybody like loves each other. Music's all about creative freedom and peace and love and all that stuff. It's great. It's right up my street, right? and then I get into the music industry and everybody's just like hating on you for no reason. And it's like, why do you hate me? I don't get it. I don't hate you.
When money gets involved, things get a bit nasty. What took you to Thailand in the end then? You'd obviously had enough of the world of work and you decided to take a trip to go and learn Thai.
When I was DJing, I did quite a lot of naughty things. I got quite heavily addicted to things, alcohol being one of them as well. I realised I needed to nip that in the bud, and I couldn't be around that industry anymore, so I decided to leave that. By that time, I think I left my 9 to 5, and then I started building this website that taught people how to make music. It did quite well, and that allowed me some funds to do other stuff. Then I had this money, and I was like, what is the one thing I've always wanted to do? The whole reason I wanted to DJ was like, imagine how cool it would be to go around the world, be this like artist that goes to all these countries and experiences so many different cultures and gets to play to massive crowds. I thought that was the best thing ever. And then I realised to myself, I was doing it for the wrong reason, really. I should have just gone travelling. So I decided, okay, I'm going to go travelling. But then COVID hit, everything shut down. And I couldn't go for a while. Finally, lockdown lifted, and the first place I wanted to go was Thailand. And I did a pre-trip before the motorbike trip, which was a few years before that. And then the motorbike trip started about 2-ish years ago now. And the idea was, I learnt Thai beforehand. I was like, I'm going to go to Thailand. We're going to go around Asia. I was with a partner at the time. We were going to go around Asia. And then the next year, we were going to go around like Latin America and stuff and find a place to settle down. Didn't go quite as planned. Ended up breaking up with my partner. Then I came back to England for like my brother's wedding and stuff. But I just fell in love with travelling that trip. And I thought I need to go back again. I set off back to Thailand again. Obviously, this time I was like, how can I stay there longer? And I looked at the education visa options and it said you can learn Thai. And I thought, oh, great. I speak Thai already, kind of. So I can learn Thai and like live there for 6 months. That's fantastic. So I went on the education visa, did some little trips around Thailand, lived in a tiny little apartment that cost me like 200 quid a month, everything included. Sometimes cockroaches came under the door, but it was all right. But it was right in the centre. It was great. I lived in Bangkok. I loved it. And then I realised on this education visa, I can get a licence. I decided to get a licence. You can just get your motorbike licence in Thailand in like a day. And it costs, I think it was like £7 or something. You can drive up to 400cc on this licence. Yeah, and the test is like you go around this little course. They get you to balance on a beam, do some figure of 8 stuff, do like a little slalom between this tiny like road that they've mapped out. And then you've got to make sure that you follow all of the traffic signs and make sure you indicate and stop and all that stuff. And then you go in, they print your license off there. They take a photo of you and they print your license off there.
While you were sorting things out, you'd left your bike parked. It looked like a bit of a square in the footage that you showed, and it attracted some attention, didn't it?
It did. This was during the war between India and Pakistan. I was with some friends. One friend told me I could come down to Delhi, so I went to Delhi to stay at his, and I parked my bike outside his cafe. It's a place called Rajinder Nagar. I think because of the heightened tensions, they looked at the Thai plate, and obviously Pakistan speaks Urdu, which is not Arabic, but it's written in an Arabic text. So I think they looked at the Thai number plate. Maybe someone like thought it looked a bit Islamic. Maybe, I don't know, because I can't see any other reason why they'd call the police on it, but they called the police on my bike because they thought it was a bomb. I was out for the day with this girl I'd met, and she was showing me around Delhi. We were having a tea. And like this moment where it was quite romantic, like I told her she looked pretty and she'd tell me I had nice eyes. And then my friend calls me and he goes, you need to come right away. There's 300 people around your bike and they think it's a bomb. I was on the phone and I just looked at this girl and I was like, you're never going to believe this. I've got to go. She was so calm about it as well. I thought, blooming hell, it was an easy way for her to get out of this date if it was really that bad.
Did you ever see her again? Was there a happy ending?
I don't think I did ever see her again. I'm still friends with her.
Another thing that really came over in your videos, I don't know an awful lot about Southeast Asia. Your filming makes it look such a remarkably lovely place. You shoot some great shots of the scenery, but also you receive great kindness as well from strangers. Quite a lot of kindness as well.
I love Southeast Asia. There's a lot of stuff there that I never knew about, and that is why I fell in love with it. There's so much interesting history that I kept learning about, and I just loved exploring it. The jungle, neon green, and the blue skies all the time. Oh, and if it rains, you don't get cold. Perfect place. The people are amazing as well. Food, fantastic. People would often come up by the roadside and help me fix my bike for me, like no cost. I was offer them money. They wouldn't give me money. And people really kind of took me under their wing. It was really nice. I don't know whether I would have made it if I hadn't have met such friendly people, because I was an absolute idiot. Like, I had no idea what I was doing.
Have you heard of a guy called Ben King?
No.
Oh, mate, listen, we did an episode with Ben. There's somebody that welcomes chaos, let's say. Yeah, have a listen to his episode afterwards. People think he's putting an act on, but he's this amazingly funny, fun guy. The stories he tells, like, the second time I was locked up in a prison in Afghanistan. Sorry, you haven't even told us about the first time. What the fuck were you doing in a prison in Afghanistan? And he's just charmed his way across the world. He's a wonderful chap. You found some remarkable spots in Laos.
So there was a whole secret war during the Vietnam War in Laos, because they were trying to disarm the Ho Chi Minh Trail. So they've got all these secret CIA bases that they trained this mountain people. They're called the H-Mong. I think you say it Hmong or something like that. They fought a guerrilla battle against the communist forces in the jungles. There's like these old airstrips and rusting tank things in the middle of the jungle. There's like rusting helicopters and all that stuff. It's mental. There's not like a crazy amount of stuff, but it's a wicked adventure going down those roads. And they all had to flee after the war through those roads. They got shot by their own government. And I think like there's one documentary I watched where it's like 75 of them went through the jungle and 12 of them arrived at Thailand's border to get into the refugee camps. There's all these old refugee camps in Thailand as well. A huge CIA base that they just opened in Udon Thani in Thailand that ran all the operations. It's mad. They've got this massive radar system. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I highly recommend people look into it, because it's one of those things that you don't know about Southeast Asia. You know about Vietnam. Everybody knows about Vietnam. But nobody really knows about what happened in Laos. It's a really interesting perspective on that whole war. There's a whole other side that just kind of almost got swept under the rug a bit, and no one talks about it.
You did seem to seek out some quite interesting situations in interesting places, like getting into workers' camps in Dubai.
Oh, yeah.
Going into Iraq. Your tagline is throwing myself into weird situations to overcome fear.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you're just pushing yourself into fucking really scary places. Was that deliberate, or was just this kind of stuff fascinates you?
I end up in these weird situations because it absolutely fascinates me, and I just want to see. And I just think to myself, I'm going to go and I'll see what happens. Like, the worst thing that's going to happen in my mind is like, right, they'll turn me away at the gate. If I get further than that, cool, I'm okay, I suppose, maybe. But I was actually told by one of my friends, he's ex-US military, he was like, you need to be really careful in the UAE now, because they really, really don't like foreigners recording things that they're not supposed to. And that thing that I recorded is something that you're not supposed to record. So yeah, I avoid it now. I never go on a layover to the UAE. And I don't think I'll ever be allowed back. To be honest with you, I didn't really enjoy that place that much, so I'm not that bothered. It makes airfare a little bit more expensive, but it's beautiful, and the people are actually really nice. Like, the people are wonderful. I couldn't fault how I was treated. Everywhere I went, there were people. I mean, in Iraq was the thing that shocked me the most, because I thought we waged a war here not too long ago, and people are probably dead from that, and the wounds are fresh. They'd be my age. It would be like France coming over and invading the UK like 20 years ago. I would have been hurt from that. Like, I would have had scars from that. And I met loads of people like that who, around my age, they'd lived through the invasion, they'd fought ISIS, his father had been in Saddam Hussein's prisons for 2 years. Some of the stories he had were horrific, crazy. Some of the stuff he told me off camera, his father, blooming hell. And then his father's father lived under the British in 1913 or 14. So I was thinking these guys are going to hate me. They just welcomed me into their homes, gave me tea, gave me food. Left one day, my bike was washed. You know, it was wild. And there's so much cool stuff there. So much interesting stuff. It's incredible for adventure riding. I'm not going to say go and book your ticket to Iraq right now because it probably is quite dangerous, but I don't think it's as dangerous as people make it out to be because there's a lot of security in place. So what I was finding is I was riding through military checkpoints every 50 kilometers. I'd have to tell them exactly where I was going, exactly what I'm doing. They'd have someone waiting for me at the next checkpoint. I had police escorts from place to place, like with a Humvee gunner on the back. And basically, if you end up at one of those checkpoints and you say you're going to do something dangerous, they're like, no, you're not doing that. We're going to take you somewhere safe and we're taking your passport and you have to come with us now. Because I think like they're so worried that something can happen to you. They don't want it to happen. Maybe it would ruin the country's image if a tourist got killed there or something. So I don't think they allow you to do mega stupid stuff there. But some of the stuff you see, like the old Saddam Hussein palaces, just rubble.
Which you also snuck into.
Yeah. There are guards there. Honestly, I think if I'd got caught, they would have been fine. Like, the Iraqi people are so nice. Like, I've seen people, like, they get caught and they're just like, yeah, have a look around. It's fine. No one cares type thing. But there were armed guards here. Yeah, with AKs. There's one I actually didn't put in the video. I camped across the river from Saddam Hussein's main palace, 50 times larger than the White House. And it's blown up. It's just destroyed. So I camped across the river from it and I was like, right, I'm waking up at 5 and I'll go in at 5 a.m. So I went in at 5 a.m. because the night before dogs were barking at me and I was like, I don't trust this. And I saw no one there and I was walking around the whole thing and I was like, wow, this place is, and the whole thing is just falling apart, but it's huge. And there's just so many statues and it is mental to see. And then I'm coming out after I've explored it for about 2 hours or so. I was like zooming in on my phone to see where, because it's got multiple complexes. I'd explored one complex and there's like 3 or 4 of them dotted around. And I was looking to see how do I get to that complex. And I was zooming in on my phone and I've got a video and I'm like, and that's the main that's the different complex there. And then I zoom in on his gun and I'm like, oh, he's got a gun and we should be leaving now. Okay. So I'd like walked around this whole place, not even knowing that it was supposed to be guarded because there's no guards on a certain side. There's only guards on another side. And I think my understanding is they put it on Google Maps for people like me, and they've put that Google Maps pin at the place where their guards are. So if you go there, the guards are like, nah.
Let's talk a little about the bike you chose. There's a great bit when you're in the Himalayas, about 4,500 meters, when you're actually having to use your legs to get up the hill when there's less oxygen because you're very high up at 4,500 meters. Are you still in love with that bike, or are you going to get something else maybe?
Oh, I absolutely love that bike. I think it's great. For future expeditions, I think I would like a little bit of a higher CC. I've tried out a few different bikes. Tried out the Himalayan 450, the 410 as well. They were really nice bikes for off-roading. They're fantastic. But I find the problem with some of the larger bikes is they're too heavy, especially when you get yourself in those really tight roads. Like having to turn it round on those tight roads is quite hard with that 200 kilo weight.
There is a technique to lay it around and just spin it around with the back wheel, but that take a bit of learning.
I wouldn't do it at my skill level just yet. But I rode XR 190 recently in Nepal. That was fantastic. Perfect. I think on all aspects, it's 190cc. You've got just enough to get over difficult terrain as long as you've not got a heavy load on. It's 150 kilos, I think it is, full weight. And it has a 12-litre tank. I couldn't fault it.
You need a CRF 300.
I was thinking about getting the CRF 300, but they discontinued it in Nepal for some reason at that time. I don't know why. I think political changes have messed up markets and stuff. So they still had the XR 190s and they were like, try this one. I did. And I actually would prefer it, I think. I'm glad that they didn't give me the 300 because I was actually really enjoying that bike and I thought it was just enough for what I was doing.
You'll get a chance to have a look at various different bikes at ABR in a couple of weeks' time. There's got a lot of people there. I mean, it's 17,000 last year. The campsites were pretty crowded, but once you got into the kind of the arena, it felt fine. It never seemed too crowded. So, is this your first time?
I've never been.
You'll love it.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
They're showing your film as well, aren't they? Austin's cinema thing.
In Austin Vince's tent.
Normally it's in the main house, in actually Ragley Hall itself.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure. Austin has a big sort of marquee thing as well, so it may be in there. I'm not sure, but I understand he's taken you under his wing.
Well, it's a funny story, actually. My mum emailed Honda and was like, my boy's ridden a bike from Thailand to UK, please sponsor him. And they got back to her. They had a call with me and they put me in contact with Austin Vince. And he said he'd mentor me and help make my film better and tell me how it is, basically.
That is very cool, though. He's a legend in the adventure motorcycle world, obviously, as you well know. One of the godfathers of what we all try to do.
Yeah, he's wicked. He's got so much skill at editing as well.
So tell us a little bit more about your YouTube channel. What's on it and what can we expect in the future?
I've got, I think it's 34 episodes of Thailand to UK on 2 wheels. That whole film is condensed and it's been released as an episodic series that goes into much more detail, loads of cool historic things on the way, secret CIA bases, ex-SAS missions in Malaysia, old Chinese concentration camps, and then loads of stuff in like India and Iraq. I go in much more detail, going around all Saddam's palaces and all the old war zones and stuff in much more detail about the history there. For the future, I'm going to continue doing video making. Everything will probably be done on a motorcycle where possible because borders are closing and stuff. But I have an interesting plan to try and find Shangri-La through the Silk Road. That's my next journey that I want to undertake. And I think for that journey, I'm going to have to be using multiple different motorcycles because all the borders are a bit difficult at the moment.
To actually get bikes to, so you have to go and hire one in each different country type thing.
Yeah, so India went to war with Pakistan. That border still hasn't opened. And then Pakistan went to war with Afghanistan, and that border still hasn't opened. And then obviously China costs like $2,500 or something to drive through for 14 days.
Because you have to get a guide, don't you, and stay with your guide. So people do it in groups of 5 or 6 and split the cost. They take you where they take you. You're not allowed to go off anywhere on your own.
I have heard some workarounds for that. I've spoken to some people who said that if you actually go in and you buy like an electric bike, go around on one of them and hope that no one gets you. I don't know whether I'll do it or not.
That sounds a bit mental, but probably the sort of thing you would do.
Yeah. I've been reading about Tibet as well. I was looking into like what is the possibility of getting there, like unknown. I don't know whether I want to test that. There's one British guy that did it in 2008, Charlie Walker, insane guy. He snuck in. He cut the border gate, went under with his bicycle, almost got caught by a dog, kicked it in the face, and just managed to escape under darkness. And he spent 6 weeks freezing in a tent that he bought, which was only summer conditions, trudging his way through the snow, hiding from the Chinese police.
Doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
Crazy stuff.
Type 2 fun.
Yeah, type 2 fun. I don't even think it's type 2, to be honest with you.
Have you ever thought about doing news reporting? At some points, you really do come across as like a reporter in the field. Great in front of a camera.
Oh, thank you. I very much appreciate that. Yeah, funnily enough, I actually got a few, like not written offers, but like verbal offers from different news stations. I don't think I could mention them. They were like, do you want to try out war reporting? I can put you in contact with this guy who will help you get on the front line.
That's the fucking cool job, apart from being in war zones.
And I did think about it. It is really weird. People ask me about that day and they think they asked me whether I was traumatized or whether I was scared. And to be honest with you, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't scared, but it was like when you're in it, you're not scared. It's weird. I was kind of in my in my zone, if that makes sense. Everything just kind of pieced together. I did consider it, but I don't know whether I really want to make my career doing war zones and stuff. I quite like just going around on a bike and going into interesting adventures and history and stuff like that. Like, I love that. And I don't know how long of a life I might have in war reporting.
Doesn't tend to end very well, does it, really, for a lot of people?
And as you know, I'm not the most organised person, so I don't know whether that would suit my profile.
Yeah, you might be right. Just stick to motorcycling.
I was looking for a coffee shop, and there was one good coffee shop in the area, and it turned out it was this old university in Tikrit, which used to be blown up, got just decimated. I ended up outside the university, and I'm asking, they're like, coffee? And they're like, what the fuck's this foreign guy doing here? Like, what? And it's all very high security because of the stuff that is still going on there. I go up to him and I go, Bonds. And he's like, what? It's the name of the coffee shop. I'm like, Bonds. And he's like, Bonders. And then he's like, come. And he makes me park in the front. He's like, get in my car. And then we drive around the university and he takes me to this coffee shop on the university campus. And I'm talking to all these students and they're just like, what the hell is he doing here? I'm in my full dirty motorcycle gear. And then I got an offer from them to go hunting in the desert, which unfortunately I did not take because I thought to myself, right, if this is where I go missing, this is where I go missing.
What were they hunting for in the desert, though?
They were just like, do you want to come hunting? What do you mean? They're like, we go to the desert, we take guns. There's actually a story where there's like some prince or whatever, is they take him hunting and then they shot him in the desert. And I thought of that story in that time and I thought, these guys seem okay, but I don't know.
Yeah, it does seem a bit of a leak, like looking for a coffee. And the next thing is you're going hunting in the desert. Well done for not going. A rare moment of clarity and logical thinking. To wrap up then, tell us where we can watch your film. It's on YouTube and you've already entered it into the Adventure Motorcycle Film Festival for 2027. Now, I can't guarantee it's going to be shown. We've got 14 judges, but it's good. That's all I'm going to say. It is really good and I've scored it very highly. Hopefully it'll be in there. So tell us what it's called and what is your YouTube channel?
YouTube channel is We Hate the Cold. The YouTube edit is on there. You can watch it. It's a very condensed version of it. There's a feature-length edit as well, which I'm playing at festivals. The title of the film is called Thailand to the UK on Two Wheels. Very, very simple. There was a funny comment someone left on one of my videos. They said, you did Ewan McGregor's trip the long way round, but it's the wrong way round. So I'm thinking of calling it Thailand to UK on Two Wheels, the wrong way round. So much stuff goes wrong. I think that's a cool name. I like it.
Told you. Quite a character, eh? Yeah, make sure you go onto his YouTube channel and watch some of his films because they are very good, very interesting. He's very cheeky, but he seems to get away with it. Just wanted to talk briefly about the film festival for next February. We have now got the contract from the venue in our sticky little hands. We're just going to go through that. We've got to pay a deposit this year. So once we've reviewed the contract and paid the deposit, the tickets will be on sale. So we're hoping that will happen in the next week or so. So if you do want to come, keep your eyes peeled, get your tickets before they sell out. Get your tickets for the Friday night Trailhead Social and get your tickets for the all-day event on Saturday this year, starting at 11, finishing at 9. Well, the films will finish at 9. We're going to carry on drinking beer and having fun. All right, if I don't see you before, see you there. Just a final word from one of our newest and dearest sponsors. If you've ever dreamt of riding across the vast desert plains, carving through remote mountain passes, or cresting cathedral dunes, Wilderness Wheels in Morocco makes it real. Based in Ouarzazate, they run fully guided off-road motorcycle adventures across the Sahara and Atlas Mountains. Complete with incredible food, welcoming accommodation, and decades of regional knowledge that make every day feel an unforgettable joy. And here's the big one. In March 2027, you can come ride Morocco with Clive, Noel, and possibly the new TAMP podcast co-host. A proper week of sand, stories, and spectacular riding with the TAMP podcast crew. Book your spot at wildernesswheels.com and come find the Morocco you've always been dreaming about. Thanks for listening. We really do appreciate it. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and if you really appreciate what we do, please consider supporting us on either Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. Links are available on our website, tampodcast.com, where you can also go to our store, that's a shop in English, and buy some branded stuff. Please keep listening and, more importantly, spreading the word.